Welcome to another video lesson from sketchnest.com. I'm Brandon. Let's jump right in. In this video we're going to be talking about comps, which is short for comparable sales, and we're going to be talking about how they apply to the home buying process and to you as a home buyer. Let's say I'm in the market for a two-story home in Happytown, Vermont. If I want to look at comparable sales to justify or to evaluate the seller's asking price, I want to look at similar homes. So this is a two-story home over here. I want to try to find other two-story homes in that same part of Happytown, Vermont that have sold recently, and I want to find out how much they've sold for. These are referred to as comps or comparable sales. This is one of the ways you would evaluate the seller's asking price. Remember, it's called an asking price for a reason, and that is because that's what the seller is asking for. That doesn't necessarily mean that's what the home is worth. So let's say we find a two-story home that sold for $284,000, and it was fairly recent. It was within the last month. We found another one that sold for $294,000, similar style, similar type of house, but maybe this one was slightly larger than the one we're looking at. And we found this house over here, and we know what the seller is asking for. We're trying to validate it to see if it makes sense. So we're using these two comps. This other house here, perhaps it has fewer upgrades when compared to the house we are evaluating. So this house sold for $284,000 within the last month. This house sold for $294,000. This one is slightly larger than the target house. This one has fewer upgrades. So this is obviously a simplified scenario, but this is how comparable sales work. This is what real estate agents use when they're talking about comps, and it's how you can evaluate the seller's asking price. So based on this simplified scenario, I would say a good asking price for this house might be somewhere in between $294,000 and $284,000. Let's say $289,000. That would be a good asking price, and you could justify that by saying, look, we've evaluated recent sales in the area. Here's a house that's similar. It's a little bit larger. It went for $294,000. Here's a house that had fewer upgrades, but it's otherwise similar, and it sold for $284,000. That is why we're justifying our offering price of $289,000. One of the things that you want to keep in mind when you're talking about comps are the components that make up a good comparable sale. They should be recent. In other words, a home that sold 6 months ago isn't really a good indicator of the current market. So you want to try to find recent homes. The more recent the sale, the more accurate the pricing information, the more it reflects the current market. The property should also be similar. If you're looking for a two-story home in the neighborhood of 2,500 square feet, it doesn't make sense looking at comparable sales of a one-story ranch home in the $180,000 price range. It's not at all comparable, so it doesn't really help you evaluate the seller's asking price. And they should also be nearby or close. Remember, markets vary widely from one area to another. So if you want to use comparable sales to justify the seller's asking price, you should make sure that those sales are as recent as possible, that they are similar to the home that you're looking at, and that they are in the same geographical area. The more recent the comps, the more similar they are to the target house, and the closer they are geographically speaking, the better they are as comps, the more they help you justify the seller's asking price. So that's a quick overview of comps as they apply to the home buying process. I hope you found this video helpful. If you would like to watch more videos like this one, you can visit us online at sketchnest.com. Thanks for watching.